remember is that they go in. I forget the name. Alaris. No, not Alaris. Senna and Tyr.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And
Okay,
Alark
I'll
with
make
her.
sure. Oh, Alaris was with you. Okay, so all three of them go into the one part I can't remember that I didn't write down was I can't remember if it was like a cave or a castle, or something. Like it was, I'm pretty sure it was a cave. Um, when you guys were walking through, you noticed that the more sound you made while walking through, the more that this fog and walls of the environment seem to like come alive, be more of like a living, meaty kind of thing, um, like they were breathing or closing in on you or something. I took terrible notes last time. And then eventually you guys get down to me. Well, I know there were symbols that you guys had to follow at some point. But you guys got down to me. There was a giant pool of water. You see me, my character, Lemir. Oh my gosh, Lemirith. Oh my god, I forgot how I pronounced it.
Hey, this is your character.
I know. This is perfect. This is great.
Well, you can decide. If I remember.
Lumerith.
Okay.
Okay. I was adding
Okay.
an E instead of U. You guys see me, and I'm laying in the body of water, I believe on my back, like kind of like floating there. You guys do like a check on me to see if I'm like alive. I think pretty sure Senna tries to like punch me in the nuts or something like that. Or like poke me in the eye or a stick or something. Something like that.
Poke him
And
with the
then
stick.
With her battle
and
axe.
then yeah, or something. Yeah, it was like the end of the battle axe. And then I actually wake up, I believe, and I see them. I feel like there is something like connected with them that can bring me closer to finding like the true murderer of like my parents. And then so I decide to go with you guys on your adventure. And I think I was leading the way out, but I don't even know the way that you guys came in, so it's just
Okay.
We came down the stairs.
Was that a pretty good recap? For I didn't write any.
Yeah, not especially from memory, not too bad. What was that?
I said my notes were pretty dog shit last session, so.
Okay. Anything you guys wanted to add based on your memory then, or your notes?
Nope.
Okay.
Other than us continuously arguing at each other and yelling at each other.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, from what I remember, since Nick was like, I don't know how you guys got down there, we literally went down that spiral staircase that was like turning into like scales and shit.
Mhm.
Then you were at the bottom, and I'm pretty sure the last thing that happened was, like Nick said, was him leading us out of here.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
Before that,
And
how you guys got into wherever you were, like whether it was like you guys were in a forest and found a cave or something like that. That's what I mean.
No, we were in the fucking place where like the high druids have like their court, like sort of group hearing, and we found a bunch of them on the ground that were like paralyzed, and then we found a way to like open the staircase that goes down.
yep, that's brownie points for Steven. Definitely. Basically, you guys were inspecting the grove, and you made your way to the center council building and found 5 of the key leaders, the elder druids, laying on the ground, kind of unconscious, barely clinging on to life. And then you solved the kind of trapdoor pressure plate puzzle, and then that allowed you guys to basically reveal the spiral staircase. You guys started walking down it, and as you did so, a fog started to envelop the bottom of the staircase, so you couldn't really see where you were going in front of you. It started to kind of wrap itself around your ankles, and it was attracted to the lantern, Kyra's soul lantern. And from there, it was basically helping guide you down the correct steps of which steps were safe to stand on. each step basically illuminated a different character, and when putting all those different characters together, it spelt out Lumerith's name. Once, I believe it was Tyr that spoke it out loud, that revealed the kind of the pool, the reservoir of water at the very bottom of the staircase, which kind of initially showed the shape, like the ripple pattern, a rippling effect in the water that took on the shape of an open eye. And from there, once you had spoken the name, the fog left from the like basically from your feet and from the reservoir, from the pool itself, and it started to basically kind of intertwine within the rungs and within the metal bars of the lantern itself, basically intertwining with it, basically attracted to it, and then from there it poured itself through the lantern and onto the pool of water beneath, revealing Lumerith laying face up, unconscious. And from there, the fog essentially entered through his nostrils and kind of gave him life and brought him back to life. At which point he popped open his eyes and popped back up. So you guys have not formally introduced yourselves or coordinated a plan or marching orders or anything like that. I don't believe you've had like formal introductions at this point, but that is essentially where we stopped. One thing to note that's important is while you guys were hopping from all the correct steps, from like one illuminated step to the next with all the different characters, you guys all once again saw those familiar visions that you've seen previously of your stolen items, right? So Senna's necklace with basically the double-sided axe, and then Tyr's necklace with the multicolored crystal, as well as Alaris's lantern and Lumerith's staff. And so you guys basically in those visions got glimpses into the fate of each of those objects, or possibly their current locations, and clues into what's going on with them. And from there, you all got a glimpse into Lumerith's own memory as well. As far as you can tell, if you did the math, then it might line up to be his own. But you don't really know anything else beyond that. So from there, I think we can kick things off. You're standing at the base of the staircase over that reservoir of water. Senna has reached her arm out to help pick up Lumerith. I believe you introduced yourself by name, Lumerith, and that's about where we ended the session. So what would you guys like to do? If you want to take a moment to kind of debrief, talk to each other, get introductions set, you can take it from there.
What the fuck were you doing down here?
That game looks rough.
Is that a loincloth?
Looked like he pissed himself.
We're
Just going for a midnight swim?
I was about to say, we're literally just insulting this man. We woke up from this deep coma, like sleep. The first thing we do is like, hey yo, you're dripping weird. Oh god, that's funny. Alright.
What are you doing at the bottom of the pool?
Yeah.
I needed to rest. Collect my thoughts.
You were like
You
almost
couldn't
dead,
choose
though.
a bed?
There's a way of taught to I want to collect my thoughts. Actually, I don't remember how I actually got here. I thought I did. But I can't remember where I was All I knew is that I was searching for my parents' killers, and thought I saw someone, and I went to chase them, and I remember stumbling, and that was it. I ended up here.
So Dan, I have a question for you. I was thinking about maybe doing an Arcana check to see if like there's any way we can figure out what happened to him and the Council of Druids upstairs. Like maybe see like there's any, I don't know, magic residue anywhere I can just kind of pick up. I don't fucking know. Not like detect magic, legitimately an Arcana check.
On what specifically? Like, can you be more specific about what you would like to try and learn, or see if, or see what you know about?
Yes, kind of like maybe I'm racking my brain about what this coma-like state everyone's in. Like what it could
Okay.
possibly be. Could I also ask Alaris to roll as well, both an Arcana check from both of us?
Yeah, you could do
Kinda
that.
the same thing. Like I'll basically explain to Alaris what I want to do, and that's hopefully he gets it.
Yeah, I mean, the version of that would just be like a conversation, right? Like, Alaris, does this look familiar to you? And then you guys would just both roll.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I have rolled. What's my +2, 15.
Okay. Let's see, Alaris. That would be a 13. Okay. So, as for tier, I guess because it'll just make more sense because you got the higher roll. So, tier, you examine the stairwell itself. You put together the different elements and pieces of what you've experienced here, getting to glimpse into another person's memories, remembering what happened with the inner walls and the staircase itself, basically turning to this scaly, flesh-like substance, and trying to connect it to your past readings and your past experiences, specifically thinking about magical or magic-based traps. This essentially starts to remind you a little bit of what you've studied and encountered in your journeys, where there exists a form of magical traps that essentially can lull their prey into a dreamlike state, rendering them essentially unconscious. And the only way to escape would be through having someone guide their lost soul back to their body through overcoming the never-ending cycle of their kind of unconscious spiral memory.
So we would, if I got this right, to wake them up upstairs, we'd have to literally go into wherever the hell their soul is and guide it back to this realm.
So right now, I'm not saying that. I'm describing what you know specifically about what has happened here to Lumerith and what you've just gone through here. So in response to him basically saying, I don't remember what happened to me, but in the sense that you found him unconscious and trying to link that with his loss of memory and with this really strange dream-like experience that essentially took his consciousness out of his body into this fog-like form, only to be saved by you guys guiding him back to his body. You remember enough about these types of traps and spells that people can be put under that you've basically deduced that through this journey down the spiral staircase and solving of this pattern of the steps itself, you've identified more or less the cause that essentially Lumerith fell into a trap, and you were specifically through your actions able to wake him up by reintroducing his soul to his body and reestablishing his identity.
Okay.
So you can, if that's an assumption you want to make about if that applies to the elder druids upstairs that are unconscious, you can do that. You can assume that, but I'm not saying that that's the case.
No, that's fair. I was more or less just trying to understand exactly what you were telling me.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. That's close to what I was hoping for in terms of information. At least a little something to go on.
Mhm.
Well, Lumerith, do you? It's kind of a long shot at this point, but is there any way you would know how to get out of here?
Well, real quick, do you share that information with the group?
Yes, I figured. Sorry, I thought that was kind of a given because yes,
Okay.
I share it with you.
Yeah, no, it's good to take a beat for that kind of stuff because if anyone wants to chime in or theorycraft or look into okay, what the fuck that means, or if it reminds them of anything else, and that's useful.
Okay, so I'll share what I just learned with the group, if anyone wants to try that.
I do not.
I don't know if I have anything for that.
Kyra's
So
Kyra's lamp, Kyra's flame, I should say, starts to grow stronger and flicker as you are telling the story. Almost like it's reminding her of something and she's getting more animated.
so it's just getting more animated and the flame is flickering.
Mhm.
Then
It's like growing brighter.
Yeah, I'll raise. Oh no, Maddie has the lantern this time, right?
No, you took it back.
Okay, so I'll raise the lantern in front of me and I'll just ask Kyra what's going on. What's all this hullabaloo?
Hullabaloo, yes. Hullabaloo. Hullabaloo, hullabaloo indeed, dear. What was once lost has now been shepherded back and is now found. The fog itself was Lumerith's consciousness, his very soul. It reminds me of the exact same shepherding that we managed to achieve on the surface through the Whispering Woods. And as she's saying that, you guys recall your journey back through the woods to the altar. And as you journeyed back, you recall that the swirling fog around you that once made it so impossible to navigate through those woods started to be attracted to that lantern, and almost view you as a guide, bringing it back to the altar. Once that beacon was lit at the altar, the fog transformed into spirits, kind of these shining white, tadpole kind of shaped, like snakes swimming through the skies, encircling the lit beacon, piercing through the night sky. And so it's dawning on you that Kyra's purpose within this lantern is to shepherd lost souls.
Finally. I might have a clear path. They're the ones that killed my parents. Make haste. Just kidding.
Fly, you fools! Well, if that's the case, then I guess we're trying to find some fog. It sounds like that's where the souls are.
Kyra chimes in.
Exits? Oh, go.
Kyra chimes in to Lumerith, asking, "Are you in search of your parents' lost souls, or the ones who struck them down?
I've never asked myself that question. All I've seen is the path to my parents' killers. So, I must say that I never thought about finding the souls of my parents. Only that of revenge. No, not revenge. That's not a part of my story. Only that of... Dan, help me out here. Give me a filler word.
That's on you.
Evil.
Oh, no. Only I have seen a path. No, I said that already. Okay. Hold on, I need to break out of character. I'm trying to
You
figure
don't
out
have to.
words.
You don't have to commit too strictly when it comes to like RPing.
No, I'm not doing like the... I'm not doing that. Because
I just mean...
what my character technically states.
Yeah, but you can use whatever words you're comfortable using. I'm saying.
No, I was just thinking of like a natural like progression to like complete that statement. Basically, the answer is no. I never thought about it that. I never thought about it that way. I don't know what accent. I've never thought to even, or I never thought it was possible to find my parents' souls. I've only been on the path to find their killers. There we go. There it is.
Kyra chimes in to say, "This lantern belongs on the end of a shepherd's crook, not a scythe. I'm not an instrument of revenge. I believe I have a role to play in healing this forest. If I can help heal you too, then I will try and be a guide. But that is all I can be."
I'll accept. That is better than what I've seen so far. If that can bring me the closure that I so desire, then it is worth the sacrifice.
Alaris chimes in to ask Lumerith, "You mentioned you're in search of the ones who killed your parents. I think it'd be useful for all of us to discuss who it is we've encountered, what enemies we might be facing, and what connections we all have to them."
I vote to go last.
Are you talking about them? Or are you talking about everyone?
I'm talking about.
I'm talking-
I'm talking
No,
to Senna.
I know I'm talking...
Alaris is referring to everyone here. He's trying to see the connection between what brought you here and what brought them here.
Let me pull up the...
If we have common enemies, it would be helpful to know.
I can go first.
It doesn't have to be very detailed. And you can
yeah,
just do little bits. You can also lie.
People that I have, or organizations and enemies that I have fought over time that had any trace of my parents' killer have been the Obscured Fang, which is an enemy organization. They are a chaotic cult.
We haven't encountered anything like that. Does that name sound familiar to either of you guys? Referring to Tyr and Senna?
Okay.
And if you'd like, you could do I guess it would be, what, a history check?
I'll do a history check, sure.
I should have worded it.
I'll
like
do one.
You're doing fine.
I'm new.
You're doing fine. Just don't
Oh,
just don't call attention to it. Just keep going.
18.
All right, cool. We'll go with Tyr. So Tyr, you recall stories of occultists plaguing your home city's criminal underworld, recruiting young, talented magic users and those who desire power and influence. You recall a deep-seated network of criminals that have plagued your cities, your home cities, longer than you've been alive, and have been nearly impossible to find and eradicate completely.
Okay. So, with that knowledge, I'll say, wait, I think I've dealt with these people before. Back in my home kingdom, there was this underground criminal system of these whack jobs. They just wouldn't leave. We've tried eradicating them and everything. They just kept killing and kept stealing. We never got rid of them in the end.
Alaris chimes in. Did you say stealing?
Yes.
Lumerith, was that vision we all saw? We've all seen visions of items that were stolen from us, but there was one unfamiliar to us. A staff with a snake wrapped around it. Was that an item stolen from you?
It was. It was a gift from my mother.
Each of these items, do they have anything in common? Why were they all taken from us?
That I do not know. That is one of the things I am trying to understand on my journey. If I could recover things that were once taken from me, I have a feeling that I would find the person who killed my parents in the same room as my lost belongings lie.
So I'm gonna chime in here and say, Lars, this is actually a good point. I wonder if there was any qualities of these specific items of ours that maybe could lead us somewhere in the right direction. Mine was just a prism, a crystal that was on a necklace that my mother gave me. She said it was enchanted, but I never really knew with what. Well, what was yours? Was spell books, right, Lars?
I have to come clean about something.
Is this you
When-
or is
when-
Lars saying this?
This is Alaris.
Okay.
When we first met, I didn't trust you. To be honest, I still don't know how much I can trust you.
It's
But-
a lot.
It's the skin color and the towering presence you have over people. Also, you're not very nice. You could be nicer. In any case.
Honestly, some very grog attitude right there.
Okay. He goes on to say, I didn't lose spell scrolls. I lost a lantern, very much like the one that holds Kyra. I never knew or could unlock its full potential, but it was something that was passed down from a predecessor of mine. And that's all I'll say about that for now, but
Does
It
it have
seem-
magical qualities? qualities?
It has a purpose that is not fully known to me, but I would suspect it has very powerful magic that I have yet to unlock or understand.
And Senna, what was stolen from you again?
It was a double-sided axe, just like the one that's in my hand.
Anything special about said axe that was stolen?
Only that it was gifted from a group of orphans that I cared deeply about.
Numir, you said
Lumiere, Beauty and the Beast. I'm not
Oh,
gonna.
yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, Nick.
Yeah.
In my notes, I've been shortening it to Lumi, and I've been thinking about that fucking candle every time.
No, why would you do that?
I was gonna
I can't
shorten it to Lumi just
No.
because I don't have to say his name.
Oh, we're definitely calling you Lumi because it's been canonized in my own notes and in my head every
Or we
time.
can go with Loom and just call him like Fruit of the Loom.
Oh no, I like Lumi. I think it's adorable.
No,
Okay,
because
so
I have to change my whole character back.
You do not. This is how it goes.
no, you don't have to.
One of those.
This is
You don't
just-
have to. We'll just call you Lumi.
Only my
So,
friend would call me
ha-
Lumi.
ha-
Ah.
Only my close friends call me Lumi. No. So how do you actually say your character's name again, just so I
Lumerith.
get it right?
Lumerith.
Lumerith.
That's
Okay.
it.
Okay.
Lumerith. Okay.
Lumerith.
Notice
So-
the accent above the U.
Eh.
I know. I just don't know what that sounds like with it coming out of my mouth.
It's just a longer U. Like,
No, but the it's the it's not E, it's rith. Isn't it spelled Lumi?
Lumerith.
L-U-M-E.
That's not an
Oh
answer.
yeah, L-U-M-I-R-E-T-H, yeah. I don't know why the fuck I had
Lumerith.
to guess that. I have his fucking
I
shit
guess
pulled up.
it's not like Loom. It's not. It's Lumerith. I guess I'd use Lumerith. You know what? I don't. Lumerith.
I don't know. Either
Just
way,
say it
I
as
just wanna make
Lumerith.
sure.
That's the way I like.
Lumerith?
sounded it out.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how I prefer.
That's fine. I just wanted to like actually get it right because legitimately I was looking at the way you spelled it and I was like, that's funky.
Wait.
But
Okay.
anyway,
But technically,
Okay.
I think it's supposed to be combined like Lumerith. I think is actually what it was.
Lumerith. Okay. So can
Let's
we say
pick
Lumerith
one
at
because
this
I
point?
still don't know what it is. Let's pick
Yeah.
one.
Lumerith or Lumerith?
I prefer the sound of Lumerith.
Okay.
But I know it's not pronounced that.
I like
That's
what
that.
I
It's
did.
pronounced however the fuck you want it to be.
Yeah, it's your character.
Definitely not Lumi, that's for sure.
Well, that's only a headcanon. Don't worry. Those
Okay.
never stick. This whole campaign is technically a headcanon, but that's fine.
That's true. So all right, so let's get back to it. Okay, so I'll turn to Lumerith and actually say, was there anything special about your staff that was taken, besides the fact that it was a present from your parents?
Who are you talking?
It's
Meredith.
sucked me.
Who else?
Well,
Well,
last
no.
time I talked, sorry.
While not with it, it feels like I'm missing a part of me, that I'm not whole. And it had distinct glowing blue eyes and glowing tongue.
He's
and
talking about his penis.
yes.
Lars leans in over to
And-
Tyr.
That's Alaris whispering over to
That
Lumerith.
was no over to Tyr.
Oh, to me. Yeah, okay.
And a blue gem that glows or radiates. Radiates. At the bottom of the staff, there is I didn't explain the snake coil part. There's a snake coil around the
Snake,
staff,
oh, snake.
and that snake has blue gem eyes and a green tongue.
Do these gems give your staff any sort of magical qualities?
Yes. They allow me to throw the staff and once the staff is thrown, it sticks out of any surface, and the snake becomes uncoiled and attacks the people around it. Really good for AoE stuff, you know? It's outside of the
Just breaks out of his accent all of a sudden.
game.
So 3 of the 4 items that were stolen had magic qualities, but they were all gifts. All things from other people given to us. There must be something we're missing.
Tyr, give yourself an inspiration.
You put on clothes today. There's your inspiration.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
I feel like that would be your guys' like humor. From my understanding of your guys' characters, I feel like that's Senna
But-
put on deodorant today.
No, I mean it literally, like it's a
Senna
mechanic.
didn't insult somebody.
You get an inspiration token, okay, Steve?
No, I got that. I'm trying to find the link to the
Click
They're
your
not
name.
pinned in D&D.
I can post it. I have it open.
I was about to say, I don't think it's pinned. I actually
I-
don't think it's pinned.
She
I
pinned
thought
it
it
last
was.
time. She pinned it last time.
I'm in the D&D
Yeah, I'm
stuff
staring
chat.
right at it.
Okay. Either way, I just posted it.
Okay.
Here we go again. Just pinned it a second time. Okay. Yeah, I'm wondering, is there even is there a place for that here, or do you want to do it in? You can do it in your D&D Beyond sheet also.
I was gonna do it in both, just so I have it in both.
Did I not add a place for inspiration?
I don't think...
Pitiful.
I mean, is there anywhere I can just kind of like type it in? Or like, inspiration.
You can
plus
you can
one?
add it to your notes if you want, but I'll make a note to add that later. I also have to add in Lumerith's column. Okay.
Is there even a spot for that on D&D and Beyond?
Oh, there must be.
For what?
For adding inspiration.
I don't know if there's like an actual button you press or something like that, but I
Heroic
know
inspiration.
heroic
So,
inspiration.
No,
sometimes
that's different. That's completely different,
you-
right?
sometimes the DM or rule gives you heroic inspiration. You can extend it to re-roll any die immediately after rolling it. Only one at a time. That sounds like inspiration. But it doesn't seem like there's a way to like log what that is. I don't know. Just make a note of it, I guess, like in your
Yeah,
book.
no, I got it. Yeah.
All right. So
Or we can make a thing in our inventory and just put like inspiration.
yeah, or I can do like a little icon or something for like tokens or whatever, or just like a little.
I
I don't
meant
know.
D&D Beyond. But yeah.
Okay, we'll figure it out. Just make a note for now. All right.
Okay.
Yeah, feel free to continue. Sorry about that.
So, what I said before was 3 of the items that were stolen, 3 out of the 4 items were stolen that were magical, but they were all gifts to all of us, or at least handed to us from some other people. What do you guys make of that? Think there's any connection?
Yeah, the getting it from other people part.
What that means?
Good question.
I don't think we have enough information to know the connection. Maybe there are too many questions left unanswered to determine the connection.
There's just a lot of questions that raise of why they would steal these gifts and heirlooms from us. But
That
either
has
way,
been my experience this entire journey.
either way, think it's time we find our way out of this pit. So I'm gonna turn around and start heading up the stairs.
I'm gonna look for another exit that's not up.
Wait, actually, are there rooms? Like, is there a hallway around us at the bottom of this place? I never really
Yeah,
asked.
I'll describe the scene. So, at the bottom of the stairwell, basically just sitting right in front of it, it's picture you're at the bottom of a well, so it's like literally a cylinder. You're at the bottom of a cylinder. It's completely closed off, wrapped around you, so it's like a dead end. But the pool of water where Lumerith was submerged in, or just barely, submerged in, has started to freeze over, and from where you're standing, you're feeling a very, very faint humming from beneath your feet as the ice over the pool starts to vibrate very gently.
Well, I take it there's something under the ice.
Does dark vision work here?
I mean, we all
Yeah.
have dark vision technically, but yeah, there's just not much here except for the ice that's, I guess, beneath us.
I didn't know that. I'm new. Just figuring
No,
stuff
no.
out.
I'm
Leave me alone.
Yeah, if I'm telling you what you can see, then that's what you can see.
Yeah, that's one. I'm
Yeah,
I'm
like you
telling
don't.
right now.
Yeah, like you don't really have to worry about that, Nick. Like I can just tell you if you're having trouble seeing or if it's too dark at some point.
Can I do like an insight thing to like? Is that like what you would use to like, or as a perception or something for like looking like, seeing if I can sense maybe something through the ice? Like, if
Well,
there's
it
something
depends what you want
low
to
or-
sense. If you just want to look at it more closely, like literally look at it and see what you can tell about it visually, you can do investigation. But if there's something like, if you want to know, okay, could this puddle of ice be magical, or learn something about it like that, then you can do an Arcana check or a history check to see what you like. Maybe history. I think it's less applicable here, but if you want to learn more about something in general, you could do like perception, investigation, Arcana, history. It kind of just depends on what you want and what the situation is.
I guess in my mind, I'm thinking of like if we're above like an ice thing, that I feel like with my type of like abilities or like magic and like background and stuff, that I feel this like odd like kind of like yes, like a pulsing vibration or something. Like something is like
You don't have spidey senses. If you have like a detect magic spell, then you can cast that if you want.
I do have a
I
detect
cast
magic
detect
spell.
magic.
Okay, you can do that.
No. He wants to cast it. Let him guess.
I want to
Detect
detect
magic,
magic.
Detect magic. Okay.
I declare detect magic.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what. I don't know what all this stuff says. Like, it says detect magic, elven lineage spells, time 1A, range self. Hit DC is nothing. Effect detection, notes 1 LRD 10
Yeah,
M.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
just gonna tell.
I just don't know.
Generally speaking, just tell me like the area where you would like to cast it on, and then I'll tell you. But it's basically just like
Cast it on
around you.
yourself,
Yeah,
you
it's kind of
would
just like
detect
around
magic
you.
area.
So yeah. So
Okay. So I guess I'm like, I want it to be.
all right. So you
I wanna-
cast.
Yeah.
You cast detect magic, looking around at the very enclosed space. You see the stairwell itself has reverted back to its former kind of like stone steps, and you don't see any magic within the stairs themselves or the walls around you. Looking at your feet and the frozen pool of water, you do not see any magic kind of emanating from the pool itself.
But it just turned icy though.
Yeah.
So also, I would like to know: is the ice at all like reacting to us standing on it? Like, are we hearing sounds? Is it cracking? Is there like?
Oh, that's a
Is it-
good thought. Like, is it just around us? You know, like
It's
is that what you're
out
going
in
for?
front of you. It's out in front of you. You're not standing
Okay.
on top of it.
Oh, okay, that's what I was wondering. Okay, I
Mhm.
thought we were like all standing on it.
Yeah, like you're standing at the
Literally
base
outside.
of the stairwell,
Alright.
but just in front of and below it is that kind of pool of water.
So I'm. This is me as Tier. I'm going to test something, since we're not all on the ice. So I take out a dagger, and I chuck it as hard as I can straight at the center of the ice. Does anything happen?
Okay. As you throw the dagger, it pierces through the layer of ice, and you hear audibly that the ice itself is not very thick, and there's still a good amount of water underneath it. The layer of ice is not very thick, but it is thick enough to where the blade gets stuck at an angle, jutting into it. Now,
So it didn't break.
once it didn't break the entire ice, it's just sticking inside of it.
Okay.
And while that's happening, you start to notice that humming that you noticed before. It's a little bit more prominent as it's starting to basically work its way up the blade and reverberate the handle above the ice level. And as it's doing that, you start to notice that it's actually vibrating in like not necessarily a pattern, but it's not one long continuous vibration. It's kind of on and off. It's starting and stopping in intervals that you can't really detect anything about further than that. But you are starting to notice that the blade itself is like a good rod that's like vibrating alongside.
Like a tuning fork, almost.
Yeah, that's a good way to think about it.
So, if that's vibrating, it's not in any. Is it in a pattern or is it pretty random in terms of the intervals?
Right now you can't tell exactly what the pattern is, but you can tell you are able to tell that it's happening in spurts, I guess you could say. Like it'll start and then stop and start and stop.
So I'm
Maybe
gonna
like
not. Oh, good. No, good. Sorry. No,
I was
no.
gonna say, but would like perception help? Like,
Perception is just like you take in the room around you.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah,
like
it's just
I want to
visual.
say, I want to like use something where it's like to see if I can like understand it more. That it's not
Okay.
like that I can actually like hear or feel
Can-
like the
You can investigate it.
actual like
So
yeah.
without
Oh, investigate. Okay.
Yeah, if you want.
stepping on the ice, can I try and take out my dagger without stepping on the ice? Or is it like too big of
Well,
a
you throw it in
swing?
the middle, right?
No,
It's a pretty small pool. It's not unreasonable to think that you could reach in and grab it. But you would have to be a little bit careful about it. Like you'd have to lean in, so you kind of like squat down and outreach.
Here's what I'm gonna do.
Okay.
Tier's gonna look at Senna. Senna, give me your hand.
I swear to God, if she lets go of you.
No,
I'll give
no.
her ideas.
Actually, you make a good point. Here, give me your hand.
All right, well then you're gonna do a strength check, bud.
No, all right. Maddie, can I trust you not to fuck me here? I just want to grab my knife.
Don't fuck you here. I'll
What?
do it in the I'll do it in the tavern.
Okay, not here. Okay, cool. So I switch back to my original plan. Senna, please give me your hand. I just want to grab my knife.
And I
So-
reluctantly hand over my hand.
Okay, so I use her hand as a counterweight. I bend down and reach over, grab my knife, and come right back to the stairs.
Nice.
So, pulling my knife out of the ice, though, does that increase the sound of the humming?
Yeah, so as you take it out, it's like vibrating as you're pulling it out, and you start to notice kind of the crack that it left behind. With the humming, it feels even more pronounced. It feels like a bit stronger. Like the water underneath that crack is starting to bubble a little bit, and the crack itself has expanded with every kind of series or iteration of humming.
Alec in the crack.
Fuck you!
Fuck
I thought
that.
you were making. I
I
thought you were
have
making a butt crack joke, Maddie.
No.
Can I look in the crack?
Can I smell the crack?
My
Alec,
nose is in there. What do I smell? No.
Describe it, please.
So here's an idea that I had, and it's really simple. Just to really kind of get this moving along a little bit more. Since we know there's something underneath the ice, and there's a humming coming from underneath it, and we don't know what it is. What if we just have Senna fucking bash the middle of this ice as hard as she fucking can with that axe, just to
Wait.
break the ice?
Wait, can I like at least do my thing that you guys overrode with like 3 of your things? All I
No,
wanted to do was check
no,
the thing
That's fair.
to hear.
That's fair. And I'm sorry
Before
for
you do that,
my bad. That's completely my
I just
bad.
wanna
Go ahead.
I just want to do the one thing where it's like if I can tell what's going on, because like what if it's like something like where I have some type of knowledge or understanding of like
Oh, no,
whatever the
that's
sounds are, that it's like a fucking big ass fucking demon thing down there that we don't want to fight or something,
that's,
or
that's,
like
that's a very good point. No, very good point.
Or
No,
it's like
I'm
a
sorry I
fucking-
interrupted you. I'm sorry I interrupted you.
it's okay. Either that or it could potentially be like something where it's like a clue, like a never-ending clue, kind of like National Treasure, where it's just like a never-ending clue that leads in
Yes. I mean,
almost.
I did base
I don't
most
know.
of this campaign off the plot of National Treasure.
I figured. I was seeing the patterns.
Yeah, there was definitely like a couple similarities. I was like, I'm not sure, but I think he did.
I hope
but
you're
to do
joking,
this-
because I definitely was joking.
There's
No, yeah.
100% a little bit
Yeah.
in there, man.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I was joking. I don't. But no. Hold on. Back to topic so it can progress. What do I need to roll for that? Like, what is the thing? What am I checking?
I'd still like to know, because it seems like you want to do a couple of things. If you just want to physically,
I want to know what the sounds are saying, basically. Like if they're saying something, like if there's voices hidden between them, but we can't hear them.
okay, just
or
tell me
it's
what you're curious about specifically, like what type of information you'd like to learn. So if it's more like magic based, if it's more religious based, if it's more nature based, if it's more history, or is it just let me look at the thing more closely physically and maybe touch it or see if I can just learn more about it just by getting closer to it? Like, help me kind of know what exactly you would expect to learn or you're hoping to learn with this action.
Okay. Well, I'm guessing I'm not 100% certain on what type of like nature or whatever. I did the. Oh no, I did. Was it investigation? Or
Yeah, but you didn't like I didn't get to tell you what. If you do that, you can do that. You can do an investigation check, and then you'll just look
Okay.
at it more closely, and I'll tell you what you can
Yes,
observe.
I don't want that. I want to like, in my mind, hold on, let me try and clarify this as best as possible. What I'm trying to achieve is, so you're saying it's like vibrations, like humming or whatever, like out, and I want to know if it's the reason why it just sounds like that is because we can't we're not tuned in to its like frequency per se. Like I'm thinking of this as like almost like in my music side of my brain is like maybe there's actually like if you tune and actually like listen, there's like fucking something within those hums and they're not so like random as it may seem.
Mhm.
It's like talking, whether it's like a fucking monster or a siren or fucking like something that's like that could like aid us in direction, something like that, some type of like I guess it would be some sort of mystical being
So,
in general.
I'm gonna read a couple of things here, and then I'm gonna tell you what I think applies the most, and you can just tell me if you agree or not. Okay?
Am I making sense though? Am I like
I believe so, but I want to make sure, so that's why I want to do it like this.
okay.
Okay, so if you do an Arcana check, that allows you to recall lore about spells, magic items, and the planes of existence. That's Arcana. Then there's Insight, which allows you to discern a person's mood or intention. So that one I think is out. There's Nature, allows you to recall lore about terrain, plants, animals, and weather. And from there, there's investigation. Allows you to find obscure information in books or deduce how something works.
Okay. All right. So I feel like maybe I do Arcana, and then maybe like do either of you like have like a better like nature connection? That maybe like
Polaris does.
you guys could run nature after.
No, mine's
No,
pretty shit.
You can no if you want. Honestly, Lars does because he's a druid. So I would definitely have a Lars make that roll.
Okay. So can I do the Arcana one, and then maybe Alaris after can do the nature one?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Okay. So I have a. Which one is it? Is it the 20? When I roll that?
You would roll a d20, and then you would add your modifier, and you can check your D&D Beyond sheet to see what your modifier is. So it's like plus whatever.
+2. Yeah, I have it up.
Okay.
Okay. Make sure this is the 20. Okay. Shake, shake, shake.
Take your booty.
6 +2. God damn it.
Oh.
So
What
8
is it?
and 8.
Gross.
All right. So, when looking over the ice itself a little bit more closely, you're trying to sift through your experiences and different things that you've read about magical spells and items. Once you pair that with your knowledge that this doesn't seem to be magic based, at least not in the sense that you were not able to detect magic from it, you kind of come up a little bit blank in your recollection about what would be causing it to hum in this way, or what would be causing the ice specifically. So you're not really able to remember anything specifically.
Okay.
So if you want, we can try it with Alaris's nature
Yeah,
check as well.
Okay.
All right. Oh fuck! You're gonna kill me.
Oh.
I roll. He has a +4, which is great, but I rolled a 4, so it's another 8.
Oh my god. That was pointless.
All right. Well, it's not pointless. It's not pointless. It's like it's good because it gets you kind of like thinking about how to do this in the future. It's
Oh
smart.
yeah.
You had a good strategy.
I just remember now.
So,
you-
yeah,
So far,
so-
you told me I've done nothing.
No, you're fine. You're fine. I mean, this is all part of it. So sometimes you just come up blank. It happens. So Alaris kind of explains his knowledge about subterranean nature phenomenon is quite limited, and he doesn't know what would be causing it to freeze over, let alone start humming in these specific intervals. He's not really sure how it would be working. At least not
Great, thanks.
nature related.
Can I look down in
Okay.
the crack, like for an investigation?
Sure.
See what I see.
Yeah, roll investigation.
There we go. Come on, Manny.
Big money.
14.
Okay. Give me a second. Trying to think what would make sense to do next.
I'm bringing like my eyeball like to the.
No, I'm seeing the cartoon like version of it where I'm seeing your eye. Yeah, so the water is surprisingly clear, and it seems quite deep. So you're not able to see much specifically, but what you are able to see is different colored, or well, kind of purplish light, kind of glistening and dancing in the depths of what you're looking into. They're kind of reflecting and dancing off of the walls. You can't really see where they're coming from, but you can see they're kind of like peering their way and kind of glistening throughout the depth of the pool that you're looking into. And they're kind of coming from a specific direction. Now, while you're also investigating, and you're getting closer to the ice itself and closer to the humming, you're able to notice that there's actually 5 distinct like pulses or hums, and they all feel different in terms of how intense they are and how they're vibrating the ice that you're kind of leaning on and shaking the palms of your hands. So each humming, each kind of iteration feels a little different in terms of how intense it is, but they all last about 2 seconds each and seem to loop back after 10 seconds total, meaning there's 5 different intensities that last for 2 seconds each. And so you're at the very least able to detect, okay, there's some light source coming from down within the depths, and this humming seems a little bit more deliberate than you thought, and it's happening in a cycle. It's happening in bursts of 5 every 2 seconds. Let me know if you want me to clarify or repeat any of that.
No, I'm good.
Okay. Feel free to think out loud, guys.
Yeah, Manny, hit it with your fucking thing.
See, that's what I'm saying.
Or just smash.
Yeah, just fucking
Alright.
all smash.
So I just heard to say and say, all right, just take that axe, center of ice, smash.
do what comes naturally. Like Theory
Smash
Craft
it.
or Smash. Craft or Smash.
Okay.
Big axe go bonk.
I'm gonna go in the. I'm gonna kind of stay like on the edge, not like on the ice itself, and then when I hit the crack, like hit the crack of the ice.
Like the one that I made with my knife.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
All right, you pull back your dual-sided axe and line up the blade like a fucking batter taking practice swings, but instead it's just like up and down, getting ready to chop. And then as you swing the weight of your axe down, you can feel the crackling of the ice kind of reverberating around the blade of your axe itself, almost like it's echoing the humming pattern itself, but within the palms of your hands as it ascends from the blade of the axe and down the staff that's holding it all together in your palms. So as that happens, you basically just completely obliterate that ice layer, sending shards all which ways and disrupting the pool of serene water that was resting just beneath it. However, as that kind of clears and settles back into itself, the vibrations feel a little bit more intense, in the sense that they feel like they're also coming from the walls within the depths of the water, causing the water itself to kind of vibrate on the surface a little bit more. And then as you're kind of reeling back and taking all of this information in, you see that the outer edges of the pool are starting to recrystallize once again in ice form. It's very slow though.
I hit again.
All right. So while she's hitting that, I'm gonna. Can I do an? I don't know if it's investigation or perception. I want to see what's beneath the. If I can see anything beneath the ice or beneath the water now. I guess.
Okay, you can do. You want to stick your head in, or what do you want to do?
Well, I mean, like, let's start with just what I can see. first.
Okay, you can do investigation for like the surface of the pool.
Well, I
How
mean,
far
like,
is it from
I'm
me?
just saying, like, if I can see down into the pool, like, if it's like, see what the source of the humming is, or if there's like literally anything like underneath the water. That's what I want to do.
Okay, you can do that.
Okay. Yeah, no, I don't want to see the surface. I can clearly see the surface.
No, I just meant like from the surface,
Oh, now
as
I see.
opposed to like going inside.
Well, And that's an investigation, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
How close is your face to the surface of the water?
I think he's just standing right now.
Yeah, I'm just like looking down into the water. All right,
Okay.
I got a 12 plus
Don't want to hit him with the upswing.
18. I got 18. 12 plus 6.
Very nice. Okay. So from there, you're able to kind of see a little bit better and kind of confirm what Senna was articulating earlier to you guys, that you're seeing kind of dancing, glittering, what would you call it? Kind of like shades of light that are being cast from deep within the pool. You can't really tell where it's coming from specifically. However, you can tell from this at the very least that there are multiple different sources of this light within it, as opposed to like it's all just coming from one spot in the distance in the depth.
So seeing that, I take the lantern that Kyra's in and hold it over the water just to show her what is down there, and then I ask her, Kyra, what do you make of this?
It's a pool.
Underneath
Not my favorite place for a midnight swim.
underneath the pool, Kyra. Do you not see those lights as well?
PC thing ever.
Yeah,
Well,
I bake cakes.
what I know about these tunnels, it's strange. They seem to be in mostly in keeping with the druids that first designed them, but they seem to have been grossly butchered, reinvented, manipulated by new occupants. These are not the tunnels that our druids once used for rituals. Whoever took up home in these tunnels since their absence must have filled them with water. This is not something we would have done. I don't know why they would have flooded them.
But are you saying there's a maze of tunnels down there? Is that what you're saying, Ghost?
It seems like this is the nexus, or this will soon be the nexus of a series of originally designed druidic tunnels, yes, but they've either been destroyed or flooded for some reason. Maybe to bury it, maybe to hide it. I don't know why they would go to these lengths. It's possible that my sister Selka is covering her tracks and trying to stop us from following any further.
I turn to Alaris and ask him, Alaris, can you wild shape into anything that can swim in water?
That's such a good fucking question, Steve.
Yeah.
Let me see if I
Fuck
gave him
up,
any.
Steve.
Let me see if I gave him. That's such a good question. I don't know if I gave him any.
That's literally what I was starting to think, and it's specifically from us playing Split Fiction.
Yeah,
And, like,
that's,
that keeps
that's
shape-shifting.
exactly
Dude,
where
that
that idea came
okay.
from. Yes.
I was like,
No,
oh,
they're
okay.
all land.
They're all land? Oh, okay.
They're all
Because
land, yeah.
Yeah. Because I was thinking about the fucking otter section, and I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
Yeah,
that rules that out.
I don't know. Do I have any powers like fucking Aang or whatever? Can I just like out?
Just create an air bubble around you as you
Yeah,
float.
right.
I mean, you guys I'm assuming you guys all know how to swim, yeah? That's a hell of a power.
Do we have to hold our breath though? Do we have to do like a breath
Acrobatics,
check?
baby.
Yeah, you can hold your breath. You can also die underwater. You can hold your breath until you find, you can try
So,
it. Try it.
Here's another possibly
I don't know
dumb.
enough about what's down there. Like the tunnels, whatever. But
I'm saying
this isn't really-
you can try diving in. You can do whatever you want.
I know. I'm talking with them a lot.
Okay.
I'm trying to be like, hey, like we don't know enough about what's down there. Like, yeah, we have some basic information, but like, what if like let's say there's like 7 tunnels and like 6 of them are fucking like just like you go to swim in and 5 feet, it's a dead end or
Well,
something, you know.
Here's the thing. And is this you saying this, or is this Lumerith saying this?
This is me saying it, I guess, to you. It technically would
Okay.
be no, yeah, no. I'm
So
saying to you.
I want to remind you also that the only other way that we have is currently blocked by the fucking floor that opened up and then closed once we went down the stairs. There's really no other way out of here. It's the water, or we sit here for eternity. Whichever one you want to do.
Wait, have we done anything to check to see if there was like, is it a switch or something that we did? Like, what do you know what caused like the doors to close? Did I miss that part?
As far as you know, they
Light or something, or
as far as you know, they just closed after you all entered. You don't know the reason specifically.
okay. So all right. So I guess you know what? Let's just risk it all in the name of exploration.
Actually, so before we hop in here, let me ask Kyra a question. Kyra, we would like to bring you along with us, but since you are literally surrounded by flames, are you going to die if we hop in this water with you?
That's a very considerate question. No, I already died in real life. Do you remember it was a whole thing with my sister? She cut off my head. No,
More
it's
like, are we going to lose you?
yeah. This is more of like a soul flame magic, less of a.
So you
let's
can be
let's
underwater
light.
and have fire and light.
Yes, I'll be fine. In fact, I might
Oh.
even help you find your way through.
Okay, that's what I was hoping for, but wasn't sure of. So.
Well, it's just nice to see. It's just nice to be in company that actually cares about my existence.
It's just nice to be.
I've had a rough childhood. You've met my sister.
Yes, I've definitely met your sister. Well, with that knowledge, actually, before we do this, just
Ask
to
her if it's a
cover-
red herring.
Hold on. She doesn't know. How would she know? I asked her what the water was. She just told us what the water, like what the fucking tunnels could be.
She's
But-
magical. Her flames are VFX. Particles.
It's all CGI. Oh, so.
Hey, do you know Shrek?
I'm a real big fan of Shrek. Donkey's
Yeah,
my
do you know
favorite
Shrek?
character.
Somebody
Yeah.
once told me.
Anyway, no. So what I wanted to do was to ask Alaris if he could do like I don't know what check this would be, but if like the water is unsafe for us to swim through, just in case. Like if it's I don't know poisoned or enchanted or whatever the fuck it is, but like is there any way
Okay.
we can check that?
Okay, let me look through this. Give me a sec. I mean, it might be nature.
I was thinking it was a nature check.
And survival, I guess. Survival allows you to follow tracks, forage, find a trail, or avoid natural. No, so that's not it. Yeah, I guess it would just be nature.
Okay. So, I guess I would like Alaris to roll a nature check on this water to see if it's safe enough for us to swim it.
Okay, here we go. Something better than an 8. Here we go.
2.
Is it a 2?
How did you guys do that?
It is a 2.
It's a 2 plus 4 to get to 6. But how did you do that? Well, you know what? You know what the fucked up part is that the 20 is right next to the 2. So the 20 is staring at me and the 2 is facing this guy. The 20 is staring right at me.
Honestly, I just got like this stupid fucking just really quick. This reminded me of like South Park for a minute, like the fucking like cable guys who are just rubbing their nipples like, oh
Yeah,
looks like
oh,
we're
I'm sorry.
in
Did
town. Do you
you...
want to roll a 20? You're missing a 0, aren't you?
What a difference a number makes. And it's barely even a number. Oh my god.
Rips nipple patches.
You'd
down.
think the lack of nothingness wouldn't make such a big difference. Okay. So yeah, Lars just basically looks up at you, looks back down at the pool, looks back up at you, look down at the pool, back up at you. He goes, just looks like water. It's probably pretty cold, so.
So I go sick, and then literally dive straight in with Kyra.
All right, sweet. Does everyone else follow?
Yes. If I
Senna? Okay, so
Senna, are you following?
Yeah, I'm following them.
Okay.
so quick DM question for you guys. Can you tell me like the marching order a little bit? How you guys want to do this?
So I will be first trying to hold Kyra out in front of me as best I can while swimming.
Let me
I
write
want to be
this
at the
down.
back.
Wait, hold on. I want to write this down so I don't fucking forget.
I'll be in the back. I got it. Bring it up the rear. Anything that comes at you guys, don't worry about it. I'll be the last to die.
All right, we got Tyr, then we got Senna in the back. Where do you wanna put Alaris? And feel free to chime in also, Lumeris.
So I think Alaris should probably. So I'm guessing this is how the order is. It's me, Lumerith, Alaris, Senna. That's how I imagined it in my head, but I could be wrong.
There's no right or wrong. You discuss amongst yourselves. How do you guys want to do this?
No, I know that's what I'm saying. Like that's how I imagined the lineup, but they could be like, no, I want to go first or whatever.
Okay, what do you guys want to do?
What do you want to do, Nick?
I don't know what you want to do.
Well,
Holy shit, guys.
Guys, I am already submerged in the water. It's either you come or you don't.
You guys coming?
I'm just like, yeah, I figured I'll just jump in, like, go in.
No, but I'm asking you guys for a reason. So I want to know, and this can be true even if you guys are fucking wandering through the woods. I want to know the marching order sometimes.
Excuse me.
In what order you guys are lined up, basically. Like if you're gonna be going underwater and exploring shit, I want to know in what order.
I'm first. Let's just go with that first. I'm the first one to die.
I got you.
But
I'm
Senna's last.
Nope. I declare.
No, I'm last. I got the first pick.
All right, now you guys are floating in the water, fucking splashing at each other, deciding this.
No, I don't care.
Go to an arbitration
literally go
process.
I was gonna say, do we need to flip a coin? I mean, come on.
No, I actually don't care. In that regard. So yeah, I'll go second. Alaris can go third.
Okay.
Maddie's big character. You'll sink to the bottom, Senna, anyway. So you'll probably go first anyway.
Just imagining her taking one step and immediately sinking to the bottom.
Dude, with even if it wasn't off of body mass alone, fucking the act. Not with that
Like
big ass
just like a cauliflower or like a barrel. I don't sink. I just float on the surface like a cauliflower, bob around. Like a fucking Frank. This is from fucking Frank.
I really like that you went with cauliflower specifically.
Well, I'm literally quoting. It's from Sunny. That's what Frank says, and he looks like a cauliflower, so it's so perfect.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense.
I guess with Sunny it would be like a big old broccoli, but like the full bunch, not just a little piece, you know. The fucking green.
Okay.
The green
so
giant.
The order is me,
Tyr,
Lars,
yep. Senna. Sweet. Appreciate you. That was painless. All right. You guys plunge into the water. Instantly, it's hitting you how freezing cold it is. As you get ready to submerge, you each take a big breath. I'd like to know at the top if you guys could check your Constitution modifiers. That would be helpful. Alaris has a +2. I'm actually gonna write this down. Yeah, just tell me all your.
Three.
Okay.
+1.
+1.
+2.
+2. Okay. All right. Cool. Thank you. So from there, you all submerge in the aforementioned marching order, swimming order, with Tyr leading the way, with Kyra in his kind of outstretched hand, making a little bit more difficult to swim, but it is able to illuminate kind of a big radius around you guys, and you're able to get a better sense of everything that you weren't quite able to see from the surface. As you submerged, you start to look around you and see it's about that initial opening from the top pool opens up into a wider radius, let's say about 10 feet wide. And then from there, you start to submerge deeper and deeper. The light from Kyra's lantern illuminating you a little bit more around you, and you can see a little bit more of the surrounding area. The once distant and difficult to kind of place shimmering purple lights are coming from the far left distance. So you're seeing, imagine that you're kind of in this wide sunken chamber just covered in water, but in the far right corner off to the side you start to feel that glow. As you turn your heads and all turn your attention and turn the lantern over towards that direction, you start to see an opening for a tunnel jutting out the side of that wall that is much smaller. It would be about, I guess, let's say about 5 feet, the radius of that tunnel in the distance there. As you're kind of taking in your surroundings and making note of this interesting location and light source in the distance, you also start to feel the cold around you really start to kind of build up in your chest, and you start to hear from above you that kind of crystallizing ice sound as the surface starts to close in. That opening starts to close in and freeze over once more. What do you do from there?
In the surrounding area, in that kind of 10-foot space that you were talking about, are there any air pockets?
Not here, no.
We go towards the thing.
No, I'm just saying, like, then we can't actually, like, converse as characters, because we're underwater, we can't talk. So, I'm
Okay,
just
wait.
gonna-
I got a perfect idea for that.
Okay.
I, since I'm the new mystical creature of the group, I decide to start heading towards the thing. The hole, or whatever. It's the hole, right?
The tunnel or whatever, yeah.
I don't know, yeah. I start heading towards that. You guys potentially, like, just, there's a potential, like, look at each other, like, what is he doing? So it's almost like I'm talking for us by doing this, and you guys just follow at that point, if you guys are okay with that.
So
Okay.
you're
That would
first.
be, it's a way of, yeah, just because I'm like the one, I feel like I would be like the person that's like, where's he going?
No,
Like,
that's fine. I was just trying to understand, like, what you were trying to do.
yeah. So
Yeah.
it's like basically trying to talk without talking. Like,
Yeah.
I pull you guys out of, like, whatever, it's curiosity, I'm the new person, you guys don't know much about me, if I'm sensing something, whatever it may be, so you guys just follow. Since you guys were in my conscious, apparently, or not apparently, but like in my, like, yeah, conscious, so you guys know that I have more than just, like, what you see, like, as far as capabilities go.
Okay. Then,
So
so I guess we'll follow you.
yeah, yeah. So I swim to the hole. Um, I don't know what's. I guess I go into the hole.
So
Do I have to do like a perception or like?
no, just you continue. Now you pass by Tyr, who was initially down in front of everyone, kind of guiding with the light. So now, as you pass him, you start to leave the light behind, and so it becomes a little darker and harder to see really what's in front of you. But as you kind of move towards the lead and move towards that tunnel opening, it gets gradually darker and darker as you kind of squeeze yourself through this 5 foot opening. You start to lose vision, but you feel yourself brush up against dangling roots that are kind of jutting out the sides of the tunnel. And I'll kind of bring everyone else along now, assuming you guys are following. From there, if you guys tell me if you want to break this order, but I'll just assume that now Tyr, you're in second place and so on. So from there, Tyr is still in a decent spot. He's able to catch up and bring the lantern outward. And now you're all in the tunnel together. It's a more confined space, so you have to be basically in that marching order. You can't really squeeze past each other. It's going to get a little awkward and cramped. But as you do so, the light is able to illuminate the place around you. However, it's pretty cramped, so there's not much to see to begin with. But you are able to start to feel yourself brush up against those dangling roots and vines. And you even start to feel moss covering the walls of the tunnels themselves as you feel up against it. You make your way through that tunnel for a few more feet, or a few more meters, I should say, and then finally you start to see an opening as it curves around. There's that pink lighting coming from around the corner, dancing on the walls. As you turn the corner and you see that kind of pink lighting illuminate your faces and your path in front of you, it essentially illuminates opening up into a brand new chamber. As you leave this tunnel, you all see or find yourselves in this new chamber. As you take in your surroundings, you notice a few things. The first thing you notice is that pinkish purplish glow coming from a couple different angles. The strongest one is the one that's closest to you, which is as you've entered, let's say at this point you're in the very center of the chamber and the chamber has opened up to, let's say it would be about a 20 foot by 20 foot room, something like that. The closest source of that pinkish purple light is coming from right above you. And as you tilt your heads upwards, because it's kind of naturally grabbing your attention, you start to see that there is a pocket of air just above you where the water line breaks, and at the very top of that is a ceiling where you can grab some air, and that is where the pink light is coming from. Let me know if you want to do something with that information, or I can continue to kind of like describe whatever the chamber is.
I think the first thing we should do is swim towards the air pocket. I look at everyone since I'm leading, and point upwards towards the air pocket and start swimming towards it. And it's up to them to follow me. That's my context. So we can like reset and maybe talk.
Y'all follow?
Yeah, for a second.
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys head towards the surface and start chasing basically that pinkish hue. You break through the water line and kind of gasp a few times and catch your breath. You guys are reasonably physically fit and you have some good constitution modifiers, so you're doing okay. You didn't take any damage. You're doing all right, just catching your breath. As you've broken through that water line, you notice that source of kind of pinkish purplish light was actually radiating from bioluminescent plants. So those familiar fungi that you've encountered up until now in similar cave systems are present here as well, and they're growing on the ceiling, essentially just above the water line. So kind of illuminating the space around you, so you're able to kind of see yourselves under this pinkish hue, kind of just lighting up your facial expressions.
Maddie's not gonna. You
Guys-
don't want
Do you guys have anything to say? If you want to talk to each other, you can. If you want to strategize, you can take a moment. You can all talk.
All right. So this light is above us. This gem thing. Or
Yep.
whatever the fuck-
They're plant. They're like fungi. They're like mushrooms.
Oh.
I eat it.
Are you gonna eat the entire source of light? Is that what you're about to do? How much of it do you eat?
Half of it.
Half of it.
I got
All
my
right.
starter.
Okay. Go ahead. You fucking monster. Okay. Give me a second. Go ahead and do a Constitution saving throw to see if you can resist the effects of what you're eating.
17.
All right, you start chowing down as the others look on in horror, confusion, concern, and also a little bit of annoyance as you're kind of destroying at least half of the light source that's gonna kind of keep you alive down here. And as you're kind of muscling this down, you notice it's pretty chewy. It feels like it's been on the vine for a very long time. It's not really ripe and ready for eating. It's kind of just not something that you would want to eat willingly, but it's got kind of an earthy and moist and damp texture to it, which you do not super appreciate, but you can muscle it down. It's like kind of eating like a sponge that's been out for a little bit too long. Just like you finished doing the dishes and it's just kind of been sitting there. It's a little bit cold and wet and rough and damp. So you're kind of just chewing on that. You feel a little bit of indigestion, but you're able to burp a couple times, which reverberate this very cramped space in the walls of this kind of cave system. And just fucking rattle the insides of everybody's ears. But overall, you're feeling fine.
God damn, this thing tastes like shit.
Why did we even bring her? I thought you were literally.
I'm gonna offer it to Lumiere.
It'll help your luminosity. Take it.
No, I wanted to say no. Oh, I would like to see. Dan, I really thought for a second there, because we're trapped in the tower bubble and with her Maddie's fucking toxic burps, that you're gonna fucking have us take some sort of like second
second hand
contact hit.
No,
Yeah, like
that-
whatever contact high, but like in the sense of damage.
No, that would seem like a little much, because at that point, I mean, no, it's already in the air because you're right there with it anyway. Like, it's fine.
Okay, Maddie, because you did that stupid thing, you need to plan what to do next. It's your turn. It's your consequence.
Is my belly glowing?
That is so fucking funny. It's not glowing. I think you've kind of obliterated it with your fangs and tusks and teeth. You kind of dissipated that natural glow to it. So you're not quite the green glow stick that you could have been, maybe one day. But no glow for now.
It's making me feel like a different species. I'm Burton Fart Bubbles and Caster. Sorry, stupid. So if I hold Kyra out with whatever light she's actually giving off, can I see more around me? Because I mean, obviously we just gave Senna, not we just gave. Senna just fucking ate all of the goddamn light that was around us at the time. So can we see more around us with Kyra kind of pointing, being held out?
You want to bring her to the surface where you're poking
Oh no,
your heads up
I'm
right
just
now, or you're saying down below?
no down below under the water, like just so we can kind of see a path, like where if it goes somewhere, or if there's actually somewhere else that there's like another path somewhere that we're missing because it was dark.
Yeah.
Something
You can pop your head back down, and yeah, I guess passive perception should be fine here. And I'll just kind of explain that. So as you pop your head back down, but bring, and tell me if this is actually if I understand you correctly, but you want to basically dip your head back down in the water, but outstretch your hand with Kyra's lantern to get a better sense of the chamber. So as you do that, you start to look around. Kyra's lamp is bright enough to illuminate a good chunk of it, although it seems like this chamber is quite a bit larger than the very first one that you entered and found yourselves in. So, Tyr, you notice a couple things at first. So, first thing you notice is kind of like a pillar or like a spire of coral rocks at the very base, at the very at the floor basically of the chamber, at the bottom. And it's you notice that it's giving off pretty intense vibrations, but it's only in intervals, and you're noticing it basically last for 2 seconds and then stop. And then a few seconds pass, and then it hums once more pretty intensely for 2 seconds, and then it stops. In addition to that, you also see a door, like a proper door, not just an open passageway, but a proper door in the center of the room. So if you're thinking about it in terms of just being like in a circular shaped room, this is dead ahead of you. If you guys are at the very top and you go down below in the center, there's that pillar, there's that spire that's humming. And then basically like perpendicular to that, jutting out directly ahead of it, is a door. And once you look a little bit closer at the door, you can actually see a goblin that has lost its life clinging to the door, floating unconsciously and just kind of drifting almost peacefully, but still kind of grasping at the doorway itself like it was trying to pry it open before being drowned.
See this? Can I see this or no?
If you dip your heads in, you'll see this, yeah.
What?
Okay.
Can I detect what like color the goblin is? Like how long he's been dead for, or something of the nature?
That's a cool question. If you want to get in a little closer, you can do an investigation, but you'll have to get in closer.
Okay.
Do you want me to finish describing the whole room first, or you just want to?
Oh yeah.
Okay. So you see that, and then in addition to that center doorway, that is obviously like a picture, like it's a real room, so it would be on the ground. It'd be like just a normal room, like level where the door would naturally be. But in the center of the walls, which is like obviously much higher up, are 4 different tunnel openings similar to the one that got you to this chamber. Each of them have different pulses of light coming from them faintly. And that's as much as you can tell from right here. So, Sana, if you still want to do that, go for it.
Yeah.
Okay. Or you can do an investigation check. Do you go right up to it? Or do you want to keep your distance, or what do you want to do exactly?
I'm gonna go like halfway to where I know I could see like a good distance.
Okay.
I guess. Oh, shit. Oh, nat 20.
Oh shit. Okay. I was gonna say, like, do you want to get Tyr to help you out with the lantern? But you've seen enough dead goblins to know to know when you see one. All right. So you start swimming through. You get about halfway over to it before you're pretty fucking confident that this thing is actually his skin. Actually hasn't. It's still pretty, naturally green, like they typically are. I think they are. I'm actually not sure in real life, but we can say that they're typically about green. Like a grayish green to it. Its skin and flesh doesn't feel too like bloated or decaying. Its eyeballs are not really bulging out. They're more just kind of lifeless and still, which gives you the indication that, oh, this thing died recently, and this chamber and these tunnels were flooded very recently.
Can I go up to it and see if it's still warm?
Yeah, you can go up to it and touch it if you want.
Okay.
All right, so you reach out your hand and grab it by its ankle as it's kind of floating up, ankles up and outward, while its hand is still kind of like tied up into the doorway, trying to cling on to it. So it's kind of just naturally floating upward by its ankles. So that's the first part that's closest to you. So you grab over by its ankles, and it's kind of difficult to tell because everything feels cold here, but you would notice if it was warm. And so it doesn't feel warm to you, the body.
Okay. I want to untangle him and then, like, try to rip open the fucking door.
Okay. You could do. Okay, let's say you can basically untangle him easy enough. That's fine. That's reasonable. And then, for opening the door, try a strength check. If that's the way you do it, how do you want it? If you want to try and lockpick it, that's one thing. If you want to just try opening it easily first, that's a different thing.
It.
Okay.
No, I'm forcing it.
Okay, so yeah, you can do strength then.
You say nat 20, I swear to God.
No, close actually. I rolled an 18. So 22?
Excuse me?
That door blasts open.
It does not, unfortunately. So you.
22 to the head?
Let me tell you. So you basically get. All right. You basically untangle the goblin, and its lifeless, corpseified body starts to float up to the surface. And hits the top ceiling gradually, like a fucking bobbing, those bobbing floaty things at the pool. Basically start to flow up and down, gradually worming its way up against and smacking the top of the ceiling and splashing back into the water until finally it gradually drifts into that one pocket of air where your comrades were hanging out in. And it just very awkwardly fucking face first drifts into your guys' pocket of air, and just kind of chills there with you. Or I thought you guys were going to do something with that, but okay, fuck me.
Oh, no, I'm still underwater holding the fucking lamp.
I'm giving you a gift there, but alright. Alright, so you're still hanging out.
Fine. I searched the
You don't have to do it. If you're not there, you're not there. That's fine. But there are two other guys, I'm just saying. Okay, so from there, Senna, you grab onto the door handle with both hands and bring it closer to you, or yank yourself closer to it, I guess. And in doing so, basically plant both feet down at the bottom of the of the ground, basically, and start to yank and pull, and you can feel the fucking metal locking mechanism. Basically, just the harder you pull, the tighter it grips on to itself, and the tighter it locks. Like instead of getting any leeway, it's basically like resisting and pulling you inwards. It's hard to get much leverage just with the fact that you're underwater and get a good like grip in the ground from it, but you're not able to kind of brute force it open. Between
What material is it made out of?
the door itself is it has kind of it's essentially like, how do I describe it? Because it was essentially, you can tell just by the design of it, it is the original door that was set up by the druids that initially carved this place out. But you can see it's kind of been warped and modified. So the door itself feels like it's like stone and a little bit more like an archway shape. But there's a handle on it that looks like it's been like retroactively kind of like grafted onto it, with locking mechanisms. Made out of metal, at least as far as you can tell when you're kind of yanking on it from that kind of center handle. And from there you can tell just like the weight of the door, or the water, basically the water pressure on the door that you're trying to fight is only made even more difficult with the metal locking mechanisms on it.
I'm gonna notice that it's not working, and then I'm gonna like rocket propel myself back up to the air pocket.
All right, you do like a Superman takeoff and just fucking shoot yourself back up, and then as you do so, the fucking bobbing cauliflower goblin body, he's drifting right above you, and so you kind of like smack your head up against him, and you just fucking shove him over to the side, and he kind of drifts off and bobs along, outside of your nice little cozy pocket of camaraderie and friendship that you have here.
And then I'm gonna tell him what I don't know if they could see what I did, but I'll tell them what I did.
I'm trying to think of like, what if I just throw an Eldritch Blast at the door? Try to see if that'll open it. The only problem is, if they're trying to keep something out or in.
What's the goblin wearing?
Sorry, I had to yawn. The goblin is wearing just rags, and you can tell, I guess, just by the fact that he's wearing rags, he's not exactly like highly ranked or particularly important. He looks like, by what he's wearing and the fact that he doesn't seem to really have anything on him, really, as far as you can tell, his life really was not important to whoever sealed him behind. And to call him like an underling would be an understatement. He's barely a thought.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
Lumiere fell asleep about 10 minutes ago. Just floating in the water naturally. As he once was.
I'm poking him in the forehead, right between the eyes.
Boink, 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 boink.
Okay, so I'm gonna search the goblin just to make sure. Like his clothes, if he's holding anything in his pockets, if he has any.
Okay. As you search through his things, you notice he really doesn't have anything on him at all. He's been like completely stripped. Like he doesn't even have possessions that would make sense for a goblin to have on him, like any identity. He doesn't even have any weaponry or any gold or like just like nothing, no scraps, no nothing. Like whatever he was doing here was completely independent of him as a person, or as a being.
Okay. Well, I didn't go anywhere. down if I actually tried Eldritch Blasting the door.
Okay.
Not opposed.
Alright, I'll throw an Eldritch Blast at the door.
All right. You swim back down, and as you swim back down and kind of take the center and try and hold your position in place without kind of like tilting yourself off balance and being floated in different directions, you charge up and throw an Eldritch Blast at the door. The kind of stream of light violently and quickly launches from the palms of your hand and strikes the stone door dead in the center where that handle was, and doing so completely obliterates the metal reinforced framing and handle that was on it, which essentially it looks like it's completely destroyed the retrofitted mechanisms that have been added onto it. But the door itself, made out of stone, and has this kind of druidic base to it, or in the sense that it was like made by the initial druids that carved it out, that remains totally intact.
I try to open the door now.
Okay, so now there is no handle right now. It's just basically like a stone archway, like a big pillar.
Yeah,
so how, like, what do you do? What are you trying to do?
So there's no so the door handle's broken, but did that leave like a hole in the door, or are we just talking the handle's broken and now it's just basically a wood wall?
Like a stone. It's basically like a stone sealed exit, I guess you could call it. Just like a big rock, basically. That's in the shape of like an arch.
Then I'm gonna go back up and tell them what happened, and ask both of them, do one of you think you can open this door now? Push it, pull it, whatever you can.
Well, I tried to, and I couldn't do shit to it.
Yes, but I just took the reinforcements off the door.
Alright, I'll see if I can find something. I'm gonna swim back down. And then I'm gonna put, like, my axe in, like, wedge, kind of like, is there, like, a gap where I can, like, wedge it, like, and get leverage from somewhere? Like, in the door frame? Like, in between, like, the rock and the door frame? Okay, right where, like, the lock would be?
Not that you can initially see. If you want to get a closer look at like the door as a whole, there's different parts. You can do investigation.
Alright. Nope. I'm good.
Okay.
Oh, I got a 0.
You have 0. What?
I rolled a 1 and I have a -1 to investigation.
Wow, Maddie's first bad roll of the campaign.
No, I had a couple ones.
Okay.
Impressive.
Okay. I mean, I wasn't there for them.
You were.
That's fine. No, sometimes I skip these, so I'm like, it's possible. I believe you. I just wasn't there for them.
So,
Okay.
just gonna come back up at this point, or?
If you want, you can still try. Do you still want to try like swinging at it, or trying to pry it open in a different place, or what do you want to do?
I'll just try to pry it open.
Okay. Any spot in particular?
Somewhere where I would think, like, maybe like the lock or deadbolt would be on a door.
Okay.
Kind of like wedge my axe in there and try to pry that bitch.
I got you. Okay, so the kind of reinforced, retrofitted framing and locking mechanism have been completely obliterated by the Eldritch Blast, but based on, I don't know, just your experience with the way these kind of extra, maybe if there's like a bolt from the other side, then you assume you basically dig your axe into an angle, wedging it at the very bottom where the ground meets the door, and trying to kind of use it like a lever and pry it open to try and see if you can get if there's like a floor bolt on the other side of it. Basically, just trying to like warp and twist that and move that out of position or just break it off. It's kind of hinges if there are any. But as you do so, you're not able to really get a good stance in. Again, you're kind of floating in water, so you can't really get much gravity or leverage from where you are right now. And you're not really finding any wiggle room in between where that boulder, like where that door itself is planted and dug itself into the earth, and how deeply you can actually wedge your blade beneath it, trying to move it or trying to wiggle it. Like, you're not really able to find a spot where it's able to get in and maneuver a way that you can kind of leverage underneath it and pop it up or move it over. So you essentially just are like digging into the bottom of the boulder without really finding much.
How wide is this, like, door?
It's a good question. I would say,
And pillar?
yeah, I would say about maybe 3 feet wide, about.
Okay, and what about the pillar?
Sorry, the pillar is the door. It's basically just picture a giant boulder
Oh.
in the shape of an arch, like blocking the passageway through.
Son of a bitch. Can I, like, swim off to the side and see if, there's maybe any spots on the side that maybe I could, like, stick a perhaps, like, key into? Or something fits inside of something?
Yeah, you can take a moment to look over. While she's doing that, I do want to check in with the others. What are you guys up to at the moment while this is happening?
Well,
Sleep.
Are you tired, Nick?
I don't know what to do.
no. He's saying he's asleep because.
I know, but that's like 2 in a row, so I was actually curious if he's getting tired.
No.
No, I've been exhausted forever, and I actually technically should have cut off like a little bit ago.
Okay, we can wrap. We can
I
wrap soon then.
I didn't want you guys to be stuck in the water. Basically, I was trying to. Hopefully, you guys like had gotten out.
You're good.
No,
We can wrap soon. We'll find a good place in a
Yeah.
minute here.
If we're stuck in the water, dude, it's not a big deal. We'll just pick it up again. But
It was like I overdid my time constraints because I was late, so I wanted to kind of make up for it. But now,
Yeah, it'll be good just for in the future if I know like what's your hard stop.
yeah, it was. I told you it before, but I obviously
No, but in general, like
Context.
what is your hard stop? Maybe I forgot it then. What is it?
like 10:30. 10:30,
Okay.
11 technically. Like it depends.
Okay, so
I'm
in the
like, when I
future, if we start at 8,
Or-
that should be perfectly fine.
Yeah, but this one was
Yeah, no, that's totally okay. Just want to make sure. Okay. So are you guys doing anything in particular while Senna is working on the door?
No, sleeping's been working out for me so far, so I think I'm just gonna keep doing that. I'm just kidding. I don't know what to do.
immediately just falling asleep.
Okay. I would quickly remind you guys, because I know there's, I guess, a lot in this room, that in addition to this door that you found and the goblin clinging onto it, remember there was a spire in the center that was humming and pulsing 2 seconds at a time.
Arcana. I
And
want to Arcana it.
And let me finish talking. And in addition to that, there are 4 different tunnel entrances similar to the one that got you to this chamber, located around you inside the center, basically midway height-wise, in the walls of this chamber. So just, think about that. As you're doing that, or as you're kind of taking in the room again, thinking about those different things around you, Senna, you're continuing to work on the door. As you take a look around the sides of the door, you're not seeing any specific like markings or like holes for a key that would slide into at all. Like it looks just like one solid piece.
All right. I'm just gonna.
Okay, another scepter.
What did you say?
Do some shit. He woke up.
I woke up. I felt the scepter.
It's like, man, you're really sleepy. Since we've known you, you've been asleep like half the time.
I know.
Like we even found you like
Real
this. What's going
backstory.
on? You
Gotta say,
narcoleptic? What's
took
going
an
on?
hour, Fell asleep twice.
Okay, now. Okay, another scepter.
Okay, on the spire.
Spire.
Okay, yeah. So it's basically like a made out of coral rocks. It's essentially like a tower, like a spire shape, basically, in the very center of the room.
Oh.
So you can go ahead and roll Arcana then.
I forgot what the spire was. Let's just feel like it's a little bit beneficial. I do have a +2, so this is a 20 as well, right? Basically, all.
Yeah, roll a
It's
d20.
18. Oh, yeah.
I'm just gonna yeet it into the box.
There you go.
I got a fucking 6 again. I hate this game.
The
Bro.
box is
Oh,
rigged. The
literally.
box is rigged.
Dude, it's because it's a cardboard box, so I literally got an 8 because I have +2.
Yeah, try your desk next time. You gotta let it flow. All right, so what did you roll in total?
8.
Was it 8? Okay, another 8. Okay, so
Cursed.
you look over the spire in the center of the room. Thinking back in your past, you haven't encountered anything physically like this in terms of like coral structures. It's just not something that you've been exposed to. However, the nature of this kind of like humming does seem to kind of like echo in your head. The fact that it seems very deliberate and the fact that it's pretty consistent, you're able at least to kind of like fixate on it long enough to notice that it's not randomly humming in 2-second long bursts. It is waiting for a very, very specific few seconds to pass, and then once it's reaching its interval, that's when it's basically pulsing. That's all you can really tell from looking over the spire right now.
Can I go and give the spire a hug?
You can, yeah. Okay. So Senna, you swim over to it and give it a great big hug. As you do so, the spire itself begins. As you do so, right, just for reference, before you did it, it had just finished a cycle of humming. So those 2 seconds have passed. And like have just passed, and you went over to hug it. In doing so, it essentially lights up bright pink, dramatically illuminating the entire chamber from this one light source. And that humming begins once more. It's the exact same intensity, and it happens for another 2 seconds, but because you touched it, it caused it to hum like right as you touched it, so sooner than it would have otherwise. As that's happening, you notice the door directly out in front of you. So as you're hugging this thing, the door that you were messing with directly out in front of you, starts to pulse like a heartbeat, and you notice a similarly colored pink glow essentially overtake the outer like rim of the door. So like the lip of the door, the outside edges of the door start to glow like that outline in pink for those 2 seconds that you've touched it. And then once those 2 seconds pass, the coral spire stops humming. It's no longer lighting up as intensely as it was. And the doorway itself, that outer outline, is no longer lit up either.
I want to let go and then see what happens, and then hug it again and see what happens.
Okay. As you let go again, you were hugging it for the duration anyway. So a few more seconds of silence pass where the spire itself is not humming and it's not lighting up. But almost as if it's basically once again found its place in its typical interval, it starts to hum for another 2 seconds during its initial timing where it usually would. At this point, I'd like everybody to roll perception.
Fine. Alright.
If you insist.
I guess. I was
12.
just falling asleep again.
No, I
Steadily
can't fucking
drifting
read. I'm
as-
blind as shit. 21.
Maddie, I'm gonna kill you. That's not possible. If your dyslexia is the thing, okay. No. We need to talk about this immediately because does dyslexia? No, I would like to know something. No, I just want a question. I just have a question. Does dyslexia apply to numbers as well? Because if this entire time you were confusing shitty rolls with amazing rolls, then I'm gonna lose it.
No. It's the way this is angled. Trust me.
Okay.
Trust me.
She's trying to claw away at a little. I don't believe this. I officially.
Look,
This is the
I'll
moment.
send it to you.
12. No, I'm blind. 21.
Dice.
No. So
No, but that means you could have gone.
No, look at it. Look at it.
I'm just wondering how many other times it's happened.
When I threw it, I didn't really look at it, so it looked like a 10. I didn't see the fucking tail.
This is such a shitty picture, Maddie.
Shut up.
That's really funny.
I can't even tell what that is from here. Are you kidding me?
The
That's
evidence
about-
tracks against you little by little.
Okay, that's a 19 you're saying?
Yeah, but I thought it was a 10 because I
Yeah,
didn't see
yeah,
the little
yeah,
tail.
I'm
No,
just
I-
looking at that picture, like right after you said this is a really shitty picture, and then the
Dan,
first thing that went in my head was
Dan,
Uh-huh.
I got something more pressing. I am at this point, Dan. I am convinced that you gave me weighted dice, and they only throw fucking 6s.
Yeah, it could be.
Just kidding. I actually got.
'Cause that's a
9.
real thing.
And the dot's on the other side. Okay, so it's actually a 9 plus 4. So 13
Okay, so
total.
okay. 13. We'll go with the highest one.
I got 16.
Maddie, I believe you. Relax. It's just you're blessed by the Chaos Cube gods. It's okay.
I think at this point she's just sick of us saying stuff.
All right,
about
the
it.
fucking I can see the curvature of the Earth,
Yeah.
aka your
I
monitor.
know.
All right. So, with your God-given 19, I mean, this works out. So, Senna, you're able to notice a couple things. So, by piecing together what you've basically learned by interacting with this coral spire in the center of the room, you're able to notice that the interval at which it's humming. It's basically directly in the center of a series of hums that you noticed back when you were closer to when you are on, were you on the surface and first saw the puddle, right? Or that, not the puddle, but like the pool of ice water. So what that means essentially is that from within this chamber and from within the center of this chamber, you're able to notice that not only is this spire humming in a certain interval, because you're located in the very center and grabbing onto it, or in that position anyway, you're able to notice that the other intervals, the other pulses and hums, are each coming from different tunnels and different openings for those tunnels from the 4 other entrances around you. So in doing so, you're able to kind of piece together the logic, at least, that the 5 distinct intervals and intensities of hums that you've been hearing have been coming from 5 distinct locations, with this one in particular being one of them that you were able to trigger by interacting with. Each of them potentially corresponding, or you're assuming corresponding, with each of those tunnel entrances.
Okay. I'm going to let go and rocket myself back up, and then tell them what I seen.
Well, should we follow it?
I think we should follow one of the 5.
Using
Time
the
is of the
lantern-
essence, children.
Hold on. Using the lantern, and the other tunnels that are also in the room, am I seeing anything coming out of the tunnels, like a light or whatever?
You're able to see very faint, glistening, pink hues of light coming from each of those as well.
Okay, shit.
Each of the 4 tunnels.
Can I orient myself of which one we previously came from?
What? Yeah. What do you mean?
Like, am I able to, like, to spot, like, my stupid ass able to spot? Like,
Yeah.
where we're
You
coming
remember
from?
where you came from versus the new ones? Yes. It's
Okay.
basically like it came from, let's say, the back left, like that was your entrance into the tunnel, and then in the center floor is that spire. Dead ahead of it is that doorway that you were trying to mess with, and then on either side of those door, or of that door, are 2 each. But those are still far enough away from from the tunnel that brought you here, so you're not confused by it.
Okay. Guys, I am going to suggest that we go through the hole that's right above that door.
Okay.
Rock thing.
Sounds good. You go first.
Alright, and then I swim to a hole.
I follow.
Yeah. Same.
That's right up there. There was no hole above the door.
Yeah, you just fucking said there's 2 of them.
So I said, oh, I mean, technically it's like it's above and to the left, and then above and to the right for both
Right.
on each side.
Above
That's what I
and
meant.
to the left.
Okay, I thought you meant like directly above it. Okay, so which one are you getting? Because there are 2 on each side. Which one are you going? Above and to the left? Is that the one closest to the door, or the one?
One close, whatever's
To the
closest
far
to the
left.
door.
Okay. All right, and marching order. Same deal.
Dude, me, Lumerith, fuck, I don't, Tyr, what the fuck you wanna be? The Tyr than Alaris.
Sure. That works.
Yeah.
Okay. As you do so, it feels like a familiar sensation. Only the water feels like it's getting even colder the further into this tunnel that you're swimming. It's several meters long. It's not that much further away from the main chamber that you were just in. But once you reach this chamber specifically, it's quite a bit smaller. It's about, let's say, about the third of the size of the main chamber that you were just coming from. And the water feels significantly colder. At the center is a similar spire, also humming at different intervals, or at different intensities, I should say, as well as at different intervals. And so you're able to, from this, basically make the inference that each of these chambers has a similar humming spire that automatically or at set timings begin to pulse and hum and vibrate around you. As you kind of take in this surroundings as well, you start to feel a kind of humming in your own heads. It feels very distinct to each of you and almost musical in nature. So it's not just a droning hum, but each of you hears a different pitch and frequency associated with these hums. So I'm gonna go ahead and let's see the best way to do this.
Lost the plot.
All right, let's see the best way to do this. I'll post it in the D&D stuff chat, and as you guys have started to go from that first pillar that was humming in a very specific intensity and emitting a very specific pitch and frequency, coming to this new one, you've noticed, actually, relative to that first one, not only is it not as intense, or it has a different intensity, but it has a different pitch to it as well. It has a different frequency to it as well. And so thinking about the sounds that each of them are making, they sound almost musical in nature. Like they're playing different notes. And for the sake of well, I guess I'll pause there. For right now, these are the two notes that you hear that you've encountered in this specific order, okay? And it's in the chat. Picture that as two different notes.
Mi fa. Mi fa.
Mi fi fo fum.
So that'll be 4 notes total.
So you've encountered two different chambers. I should say also, in this new chamber, you see a similar pocket of air being illuminated from right above you.
Is it do re, mi fa?
Talk about it in the pocket of air if you'd like to.
Okay. All right. So we know all the notes are do re mi fa sol la ti do. Okay. We got mi fa. Seems almost sequential, right? Do re mi fa.
Mhm.
Sol la. Potentially. How do you guys feel about sol la? I feel like Dan's more creative than that though, so it's like gonna seem like it's in order.
Also, Dan makes stuff that is supposedly easy, and then we.
Hey,
Yeah, that's why
stop
I'm trying to
metagaming,
complicate
okay? Stop metagaming. I have yet to tune my fucking dials into your guys' levels of deduction abilities.
Competence,
So,
yeah.
Also, my fucking creativity can always be improved. So
My
Right, so let's
creativity
let's
knows
not
no
metagame.
bounds.
Let's no. I'm saying it can be improved because it's not always been the best for puzzles.
No,
So
I know. I was
you
just thinking
guys,
like Dennis Reynolds.
Sola.
okay.
Do Sola.
Let's not metagame. Just figure out what you guys want to do and what
Fair
you're
enough.
thinking about the nature of this so far.
So, do we call out Sola? Oh, wait. Is there, like, notes? Is there something like the piano? Is there something we get hit or call back? Is it, like, call and response? So many questions.
No, I mean the way that you described it before was like a tuning fork. So it's basically
Oh.
just it's humming at like a you know, like that. That's how I imagine it.
Oh, wait. Okay. Yeah, so it's playing all 4 notes, right, Dan? I just want to confirm that. Like, it's doing... You're just giving us the first 2?
Right now, you've encountered the first two. You can't quite make out the muffled sound of the remaining 3, but you've identified two in the sequence.
So
Okay.
I'm so
Now they're
I don't wanna leave
Yeah,
but
go ahead.
shit. Sorry, my bad. No, you go ahead. I'll go ahead.
No, I'm done.
Oh, wait. Weren't we supposed to pause? Sorry. You sucked me back in because it was a music one.
So
There.
what I was gonna do, but it's kind of breaking the golden rule of D&D.
Then don't do it.
Well,
Don't even mention it.
the golden rule of D&D is never split the party.
Okay.
That's the golden rule.
Then
But
don't do it.
well, we're clearly in one of the rooms that has a spire and is not the main first one. So my idea was to go through that tunnel that we just came through, to go back to the other room where the other tunnels were, and try and find the first one. Find Doe.
There's only 3 other notes, though.
Do,
That's
re,
not
mi,
necessarily
fa,
Doe.
sol, la, ti, do.
That's not necessarily Doe. That's all I'm saying. 'Cause there's only 3, so, and there's more in that sequence than 3. And 5 total. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Yeah, there's 8 total in that whole sequence. That's all I'm saying. Why is that a laughing moment?
It's not what you're saying. It's just dawning on me what this is gonna be like.
No. See, I'm trying to keep it simple. That's exactly what I'm trying to do and
Then
avoid.
keep it simple, I guess. I don't know, man. What do you want to do?
Pause, like he said, because I'm way past where I need to be time-wise.
Oh,
That's why I
you're
need
saying
to
end
be-
it there. Okay, gotcha.
Okay, let's do this. Come up with a plan for next time, or at least establish what your current understanding of what this is before we end.
Okay.
Let's do that.
All right.
Talk
Steven,
to each other.
I like your idea because I'm not, I don't know enough about D&D about I didn't even know there was a goal. So I'm not opposed to like trying to figure out where the other ones might be. Yeah.
Don't metagame. Just said it.
So, how's that metagaming? Oh, you're
That's-
talking about saying. Okay, sorry. I was
Like not
reiterating so he understood.
like not splitting the party.
Does that matter?
In general, don't metagame, guys. Don't be like, oh, I
don't
think
know
Dan
what
would do this,
metagaming-
therefore we should do that. Or typically, we really
Oh,
shouldn't
no.
split up, so
I'm
let's not
thinking about
split.
that. I guess I'm not trying to say it like that.
Hey, let's do the thing that I
Okay,
asked you
fine.
guys
No.
to do. What is your understanding of this current predicament, and how do you want to handle it? Let's answer those 2 questions. Everyone together, do that together. Talk to each other.
Okay, fine. My understanding of the predicament that we find ourselves in is there's a rhythm here and I guess, cadence that we have to find, and it is eventually going to, I guess, lead to the end of this puzzle. We're in a puzzle right now, 100%. That's my understanding. How we get out of it, no idea. But that's why my first thought was to, okay, let's start at the beginning and see what we can find from the beginning going down the line. Start with Doe.
Okay.
Or Amy, you can go down.
Or just whatever they may be, because it may not
Well-
be dope.
No, true. but I'm guessing since he said mi-fa, like it's.
Well,
Yeah, I'm
those
not
are the
trying to
ones you
think that much,
found.
but-
Those are the
Yeah.
ones you found in the order that you found them so far.
Yes.
Yeah.
So in my mind, I feel like we came in the middle, and we need to find the start and go from there. That's my thought.
I do agree with that.
Okay. So, as you guys wrap up your plans and theory crafting and riddle me thising, you see Senna munching down on yet another bioluminescent plant, as she's actually quite taken a liking to them. Senna, could you go ahead and roll Constitution saving throw again?
I didn't eat it. I didn't
Just-
say I wanted to eat
I
it.
just be a friend. Help me out here. I want to wrap this up well.
She fucking die.
I'm gonna use my FCG die for this.
Okay, I'm breaking out the good stuff.
You said Constitution?
Yeah, Constitution saving throw.
17.
17. Maddie. Okay, you munch down. Your stomach starts to grumble. You're not lighting up like a fucking glow stick just yet, but as the gurgling of your stomach starts to build and build and build, almost like call and responding with the humming in the walls and the water around you. You let a you let a couple farts out that bubble to the surface, almost incapacitating your party around you. And with that, we can pick it up next
I was
week.
gonna say, do we have to do a constitution?
No, you're fine. I'm just fucking around with you. I just wanted to end it on a funny note. You guys are good. Thank you, Maddie.
You're welcome.
Honestly, thought for a second like those are just some deadly ass farts, and we're all in danger at this point.
No, you're fine. I wouldn't have made Maddie take any damage from that either. Just to be fair, it was more about just wrapping it up in a nice little fart bow.
Nice. All right. Good. Fart bow.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much. Appreciate you. Thank you, Nick, for staying over.
Oh, you're welcome.
I hope you're
Sorry I
getting.
wasn't as useful.
You're fine. I hope you're getting the hang of it more and more. At the very least, you're having fun, and then you will get the hang of it later as we go.
Little by little.
Yeah, like we all are. None of us are like great at it, so it's more about just having fun.
Yeah.
Exactamundo.
Super happy fun times.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'm probably gonna head to fucking bed. I'm tired.
Also, did you stop recording?